Hello, what's up, guys? Lorenzo here. We're back. Okay, happy happy Wednesday, guys. Wow. Well, I'm still a fan of Fargo, so gotta stick with it. Anyways, wow, there's a lot going on in the world recently. Wow, international and local. For the international catastrophe, it's the long gestating Epstein list. All right, so that's a firecracker. And for the local, we have the flood control list. Wow, how things are so similar in ways. It's so hard to it's so complicated to explain, but there's a lot of parallels going on. Is it like a um, spiritual thing, or I don't know? The point is, it's all happening at the same time, simultaneously. So there you have it, folks. The world now is a huge firework of monumental proportions. So, but let's not go there. But yeah, we can talk about it a bit. So, okay. Civilization. All right. Are we to the point of collapse? There's also a lot of buzz about, the end of times. The what's that news that they talked about recently? The something something to midnight. It relates to the end of times, or the doomsday clock. All right, let's talk about that. Um, let's see. Okay. What's on my mind? Yeah, doomsday stuff. So let me tell you a short story. Okay. I read a book way before. Okay, and I don't have that much memory of the whole book. Word per word meaning, but I did understand the message from the book. And I think it's from a book by Jared Diamond. I audiobooked it, so it's called Collapse. And he talks about different civilizations. Including Easter Island, Vikings. And how their society collapsed. And there are many reasons, and he discussed them all. So there you have it. And the number one cause of collapse of civilization is human errors. That's what we're seeing right now. A lot of human errors. Poor leadership, which ends in a lot of ways. Plus the climate change and all that. But I'm gonna give you an example. Just think of it as like Easter Island. Okay, it was a big civilization, but then what caused them to end? What made them collapse? And he mentioned that there was one thing, one human error that made the whole civilization, society collapse, fall, as in zero, boom. And you know what that is? It's just simply cutting down the trees. That's right. They cut down all the palm trees, And what happens next? Soil erosion, which leads to the manifestation of rats, And after that, what happens when you have rats? They eat your crops, your food. So after you ran out of food, all right, then you know, I think palm trees you lose, building houses, boats, transportation, gas. You lose all of that by cutting all the trees, all the palm trees. Then after that, what happens next? Famine. There's no food. Then society crumbles. Violence, war, civil war, loss of trade because nobody wants. What can you trade? You know, you have no crops. You have your resources are gone. How would you trade to other nations, right? So you tend to collapse. So after that, you're left on isolation, and you're left in the corner in the dark. Then, boop, that's it. That's the end of your civilization. So that is a big example that Jared Diamond mentioned. That's the collapse of Easter Island. The ones with the giant heads. The giant head statues. If you're familiar with that, that's Easter Island. So there you have it, folks. It's human error, climate change. But he also mentioned that. I think he mentioned that there are elements that can lead to the fall of civilization. Okay. And he mentioned that number one would be nuclear. All right. Number one of all is human error and nuclear. Human errors and poor leadership that can lead to a nuclear war. Now that one, you have zero survivors, and you can wipe the entire world in 3 months. All right? How terrifying is that? And, I was expecting him to say, like, a pandemic, climate change. But no, with pandemic and climate change, there are still a few that can survive, and we will outgrow it, because that's what we're capable of. Humans, we're able to adapt to any disastrous event, and we will always move forward and prosper. Excuse me. But having a nuclear war, I don't know how how humans are going to survive that. So let's hope it will not happen, because what would lead towards that is human error, bad decisions by our leaders. So yeah, there you have it. So in terms of my country, the Philippines, if our leader will make not so good decisions, or if it delays further, might be too late, the outcome can be like how the czars ended. Are you familiar with that? The history of the czars. How his family ended. Not very good, right? So let's hope it won't end that way, and that our leader will able to solve it. But I have no doubt yet that our leader would fail, but I hope not. I hope he will be able to pull it off. So stay strong, Filipinos. Stay strong. So yeah, that's it. And to relate it to film, okay, let's put a little film here because I'm a film guy. I think the best film that would that fits what's happening in the world right now is 1984. It was a film titled 1984, released in 1984, from a novel by George Orwell. If you haven't seen that, it stars John Hurt. All right, you can watch it online. That's where I watched it. It's an interesting watch because you can see a lot of parallels with what's going on. You know, mind control, um, government stuff. You know, to sum it up, it's like the whole situation now in the world is exactly like 2 + 2 = 5. I know doesn't make sense, right? But they want you to believe that it's 5. It's 2 + 2 = 5. See, but you know it's 4. But the whole government, the elites, they want you to believe that it's 5, and you have to say 5 so that you don't go to jail. You know, so that's where we are now. It's complicated times, but we will manage and get over it as we always do, humans. You know, so that's it, guys. That's the topic for today. It's a bit heavy, but hey, it's part of life. You know, uh, you can't have happy days all the time. It's a long, winding road. You know, but you know, sometimes you got to talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly, and go back to the good again. So that's it, guys. That's it for today's revelations. Recollection. Sorry, excuse the revelations. Recollection, and that's it, guys. Have a good day. Have a good afternoon, and eat well, exercise, pray to the Almighty, and that's it, guys. Gotta go exercise. Ciao, guys. Woo!